Hello and welcome. This is Impact Yobe, your weekly roundup of news and activities in the pride of the Sahel. My name is Femi Akonde. This week, our focus will be on water resources. We'll be telling you efforts by the state government to ensure water is available for all indigents in the state. Join us.
The Yobe state government has said that the mysterious ailments leading to the death of people in some part of the state is not related to COVID-19. Briefing journalists in Damaturu, the State Commissioner for Health, Lawan Ghana, disclosed that 471 persons have died within the past 3 weeks, but the symptoms they displayed was not consistent with coronavirus. Michael Oshoma has details in this report.
For the past few weeks, strange deaths have occurred in some communities in Yobe State. The state government took quick steps to ascertain the true cause of the mysterious deaths. The State Commissioner for Health outlined the findings after preliminary investigations.
57% of those deaths had underlying chronic illness. More than 57% were aged between 50 years and above, and then 58.5% were male. The trend actually showed an increase in mortality. However, the geospatial maps showed no clustering of mortalities.
The Health Commissioner insists verbal autopsy carried out by the investigation team says otherwise.
96% of those that died had no travel history outside the state, and approximately 90% of the cases did not have symptoms that were consistent with COVID-19.
Some of the relatives of the deceased who tested positive to COVID-19 were referred to health facility.
16 of the 471 deceased relatives revealed someone with similar symptoms. 16. Now, all of the 16 were investigated and referred to a health facility. 3 out of the 16 met the case definition of COVID-19.
The investigation also revealed that Yobe COVID-19 status has risen from 13 to 20, with 4 deaths attributed to COVID-19.
The Yobe state government has received the second batch of 51 repatriated Almajirai from Nasarawa state due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But the state government said it would not retaliate by repatriating Almajirai in its domain back to their states of origin, as this was an unhealthy situation for the nation at this period of trying to curb the coronavirus outbreak. Michael Oshoma has details in this report.
We received Almajirais from Nasarawa state, totaling 51 in number, of Yobe origin to Yobe state. They were brought in by the team of the Nasarawa state government. They came in and we received them, and we received their details and documents from Nasarawa state government, which will guide us in tracing their families and reuniting them.
Since the outbreak of the novel coronavirus, the repatriation of Almajirais to their respective states has become the new norm for state government. A few days ago, 125 Almajirais who are indigents of Yobe State were repatriated by the Gombe State government. Reciting the Quran is one of the 51 Almajirais that were deported from Nasarawa to Yobe State. Since their arrival, the state government tried to make their stay comfortable.
We liaise with the school authorities here, and the school, they have their kitchen, they have their plans, they give us their timetable and their schedules. So we use the schedule and we provide the meals. We cook, the school manager cooks the food for them. For those that are fasting, during the time of breakfast, they will be having food. For those that don't have fast, they will have their 3 square meal. In addition, we have exercise session, we have psychosocial counseling session. Like you can see now, we're just running up the group psychosocial counseling session. The group psychosocial is where you bring them all on board, you sit down with them, and you discuss and you hear their views.
Since their migration to Nasarawa, some of them had not been in Yobe for over 8 years. The Yobe state government is against the frequent repatriation of Almajirais to their respective states of origin in these critical times of containing the spread of the coronavirus. Yobe State government is of the view that the deportation of Almajirais to their respective states is not healthy for the nation. The Boni administration is not in favor of this policy of adopting Almajirais, which has been adopted by some states.
So you know Yobe and Borno have all been center of learning. And Yobe is a predominantly Muslim community. So there is no way, because of this development now, that we now say we are deporting or repatriating Almajirais. No, the position of the government is that we are going to accept them, we are going to regulate the way they run this against. We are not deporting any Almajiri, we are accepting all the Almajirais that are Yobe origin. We quarantine them in line with what the Honorable Commissioner of Health said. Then later we let them with their families and to their schools. So that's the position of the government. No deporting of any Almajiri.
The Almajirais are expected to be absorbed by their various communities after completing the coronavirus incubation period of 14 days.
The Northeast Development Commission has distributed food items to road transport workers in Damaturu, the state capital. Representative of the Commission, Ali Abbas, says the distribution of the food items is expedient at this trying period of COVID-19 pandemic, which will go a long way in catering to the needs of their families. Speaking with journalists, the State Commissioner for Transport and Energy, Abdullahi Kukuwa, says the transport workers deserved more than the gesture following the roles they played during the 2019 electioneering campaign activities.
The reason why we consider this union is because these are people that deals with people that move around within and outside the states, and they are the key stakeholders of this fight of COVID-19, because you will believe with me that the NATO, the NUW, the NUDW, these are people that deal with commuters, that will deal with people that move around, as earlier stated. So we consider them that they are supposed to enjoy this palliative, because their members are the people that move around. Their members are the key supporters in all our political and social activities.
We understand this transport subsector as a group of people that moves around goods and services from one state to another. And because of this border and interstate lockdown within Yobe State and other states of the Federation, most of them are no longer having the means of their livelihood. So it is a wise decision that His Excellency Governor Malabuni has directed the Northeast Development Commission to hand over some of these palliatives to their members, especially the poorest among them. As their businesses are affected by this lockdown, we expect these small food items will be able to cushion the effect of the lockdown of the borders and the interstate movement. And it is on this note that I am calling on the leadership of this union that we have handed over these food items to today to judiciously use this very small number of items to give to people that are in their need among themselves.
Yobe State government has launched an aggressive COVID-19 enlightenment campaign in Nguru local government area of the state. The COVID-19 enlightenment campaign team visited the Emir of Nguru to assist in passing the message to the grassroots for easier dissemination. Speaking with Impact Yobe crew, the Commissioner for Health, Lawan Ghana, says one of the aims and objectives of the campaign is to awaken the people at the grassroots of taking responsibility of protecting themselves from being victims of COVID-19.
The essence is that we understand that the best strategy to be able to control this pandemic is by partnering with the communities. So what we have done basically is to gather all the leadership of the communities in front of His Highness. We took time to discuss issues that involve the local government with a view
of awakening the responsibility of the people of the local government, so that they will do all the needful, observe all the preventive measures in order to prevent and control spread of the disease in this local government, as well as, of course, in Yobe State in general. The essence is we for a sustainable way of ensuring that we control this pandemic. In all honesty, the behavior of people must change. The only way this can be done is by deeply engaging the communities. At this first phase, we've engaged the leadership. We have discussed intensively, and then, of course, we've reached agreements. What will follow next is for the leadership to go back to their own groups to educate their groups on that. Then, of course, we as government, the risk communication, the IPC group and others will also follow up and monitor the implementation of all that is being discussed. That way, we're very optimistic that we'll quickly eliminate the virus across the entire state.
Welcome to the interview segment on Impact Yobe. Today, our guest is the Honorable Commissioner for Water Resources here in Yobe State, Senator Alkali Abdulkadir Jajire. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yes, let's talk about water resources. Water, of course, is essential to life and hygiene and a whole lot of things in the state. What's the situation in Yobe State as it regards water supply? Give us an overview. Let's start from there.
Okay, you are welcome to Yobe. The issue of water supply in Yobe is very complex. Complex in the sense that when you are providing water in the Sahelians, is a region that is lacking in water resources and water. And this is precipitated by the shrinking of the Lake Chad Basin, and then the other Gongola River that also has a tributary into Yobe. All these lakes have shrunk, and the water situation in Yobe is becoming precarious by day. But thanks to the effort of the state government, the previous government have done a lot in water supply situation in Yobe. Still, there's need to be done for a sustained water supply, both for human and animal consumptions and for irrigation purposes. So the government is taking the bull by the horn. His Excellency has given us a very greater latitude to explore the water resources endowment of the state for the betterment of the citizens. And so what we are doing.
Okay, before we go to specifics like the rural areas and what you're doing in irrigation and other sectors, let's talk about the Damaturu regional water supply. How has it been?
Okay, this is the mother of all the water intervention program in the state. Damaturu regional water supply actually started in 1992. Giving Damaturu Aden as a new state capital, it was a local government headquarters, and they transformed to a state capital, and then the influx of citizens, workers, and everybody into the state to make it a state capital necessitated that the water facilities in the state capital must be improved. A lot of intervention by way of drilling more boreholes or interconnectivity between boreholes and boreholes, and then the construction of reservoirs, all with the aim to sustain the water supply. But in the longer term, you see, those structures cannot meet up the requirement of water demand due to the expansion of the state. And then the concept of Damaturu regional water supply came about, and it was a partnership project between the federal government and the state government in the ratio of 50-50 sharing formula. And then the program started in 2016 because the design into the concept in 1992, and the design by the Daral al-Handasa in 1989, and it culminated. The project started in 2006, and a lot of work was done. But with the advent of insurgency, all the borehole, because there were 30 boreholes to be drilled, outside the state capital for water to be transported into Damaturu, and they raised it to an elevator tower of about 500 meters height for water to flow into Damaturu. So the project had reached about 45% level when the insurgency came in, and everything stops because the site of those boreholes which are outside the metropolis were occupied by Boko Haram. Structures, reservoirs, and electrical overhead all have been completed, and then the Boko Haram took and vandalized everything. And the government now, the governor, Honorable Malabuni, now gave us the mandate to revisit the project. And that project, a lot of money had been spent. Even the contribution of the government was at the tune of 900 million into that project. And then the state government also spent about 600 million into that project. And then it becomes an abandoned project, so to say. So now we are rejecting the program, and the federal government have now the Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman Adamu, have sent a delegation last week to Damaturu. And they came in, and we look at the entire design of the project. And the initial design was for between that 1992 to 2020. And here we are in 2020, the projects have not been completed. So the general concept now has to be changed because Damaturu has expanded beyond our imagination despite the insurgency. So we are looking at the drawing and the whole plan. And then the federal government now, through the office of the Senate President, have allocated about 2.something billion naira for this program to kickstart again. So, and the state government is also matching it with on matching ground so that we can see the projects coming into pushing in a little not distant time.
Okay. Okay, now, apart from this project that will soon come up mainstream, there are still measures in place to ensure that, yes, people get water, especially potable water, drinking water. How do you ensure that that water is potable and remains potable for the safety of the indigenes of the state?
Well, in the ministry, we have a directorate of water quality. For each borehole drilled in the state, before you start distributing the water for human consumption, you have to carry out a test analysis. What are the real content of that water? So you have to check that content, and which the department is doing. And we have already set up a water analysis laboratory in the ministry to do that. So for quality, we assure every water that the Water Corporation, RUWASA, and the ministry has given to the state are of good quality for human and animal consumption.
Is it the same thing you apply in the rural areas?
Yes.
Okay. That is that means they too also have to drill boreholes,
yeah.
The government drill boreholes for them.
Yeah.
Okay then. Then there has been cases of rampant cases of kidney failure, and sometimes with tied to water, drinking of maybe polluted water.
Yeah.
What's the government doing about this to also ensure that the people themselves do not, maybe as a result of their unwholesome activity, do not contaminate the potable water the government has provided for them?
Well, this is an issue of water kidney failure, and more especially is endemic in one of our local government, that is Gashua. In Gashua, there are rampant cases of kidney failures, and which many studies have attributed to the quality of water. And Gashua, let me tell you, Gashua is bounded by a river. And there are a lot of fishing activities, there are a lot of irrigation activities going on. And Gashua is just a big local government with a very large population. And in that area, you also find potash underground the water. So the general analysis now that, okay, the water in Gashua, we have a water works, which we are now even reviving now, to check that issue of kidney failure. But there are a lot of studies that are going on, no one that has actually revealed. But the suspect is that that kidney failure is as a result of poor water quality in Gashua, particularly in Gashua. So the ministry has now directed the Department of Water Control. We are engaging a consultant to carry the deep analysis of what are the actual cause. But the general assumption is that because there is a potash down there. There are a lot of activities that are going on, and there are a lot of shallow boreholes in Gashua. We counted about 800 shallow boreholes in Gashua. So we are suspecting, we're not sure, we are suspecting that it may be the cause. And like you rightly said, how do we ensure that water, even if it is quality from the borehole, before transmission to the end user, have not been polluted on the way? Yeah. This is where water bending activities is so rampant, and the people are, you see, most of them are so careless. Maybe they are not taking proper sanitation of the jerry cans and all that they used in transporting the water. That could also be a suspect, and that also, we also suspect that. We are also carrying analysis on even the hygienic use of those jerry cans to be sure that this is what is the real problem in the Gashua. But like I said earlier, we are working on Gashua.
Okay. Your ministry, you're new here, and it's not up to a year yet that commissioners have been appointed. Now, what you've been given a mandate, but where's that level you're taking the ministry to in terms of water resources, providing water for every purpose in Yobe State? Where's that level you're taking the ministry to?
Well, the level that we are taking the ministry to is to see that every household in Yobe State have a safe and quality drinking water. This is the mandate that we are given, and this is the mandate that we promise to deliver. And we are working so hard to see that we deliver on those mandates. By next month, by April, March, the serious dry season will set on in Yobe State. If it's setting, there's a lot of demand for water for both human and animal because of the hard climatic conditions. And then the average water consumptions would doubled or even tripled. That's why we are not resting on our own. We are doing everything possible. All the staff and all the agencies under the ministry will combine to say this. My coming as a commissioner is just a call to service. A senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not a commissioner. I have a very broader perspective of what is obtained in other climes. So I can't sit here and see that the mandate given to me have not been delivered. The mandate must be delivered.
Okay. And lastly, when you talk about water, it just struck me that it's not only for human consumption. Yes, Yobe State is an agrarian state, yes, of course, for even agricultural purposes, and even for the cattle. How do you meet that specific demand so that there won't be, so that maybe farmers, especially cattle headers, would have a place where their cattle can also get water to drink?
Yeah, that's a very important question, because Yobe State has the largest populations.
Yeah, go ahead.
Has the largest population of animal concentration. We have about 4 million cows in Yobe State.
Wow.
In Yobe. And we have the largest cattle market in West Africa. So this is of concern to us. And that's why when we are talking of dams, ponds, and dikes and other controlled water points, they are not only meant for irrigation, they are also meant for animal consumption. So animals, especially cows or camels, and then other small ruminant like sheep and goats, are also Yobe State is all indulged. And then we are doing everything towards it, because you carry a cow. What does cow need? Cow needs only 20% of pasture, but you need about 80% of water. So you want to develop your dairy industry, then you have to have safe and quality water for the animals. One they can get the animal, not even in this very Sahelian condition when the weather is so excessive that the demand for water for all the animals is very high. So we are doing everything possible to see. And I heard that myself, so I know where it pinches out. I know when your cow has not drank water, and it's, you know how the cow behave. So we are doing everything for the headers.
Yes, we've been having a conversation with the Honorable Commissioner for Water Resources here in Yobe State, telling us that in Yobe State there's water for all and for all purposes. Thank you very much for your time on the program.
Thank you. You are
welcome.
welcome. My pleasure.
Yes, sir. And that's the program this week. Thank you very much for being a part of it. Until next week, when we come your way again with fresh news and updates from the Pride of the Sahel. The program has been Impact Yobe. And my name is Femi Akonde. See you next time.